I'm on the journey to create a Pokemon region based entirely on one of my favorite anime series of all time, Naruto. And no region is of course complete without a fierce group of powerful trainers who you must defeat in order to become the champion, the 8 gym leaders. They rule over the Shinobi region, and to help them do that, I've created a bunch of Shinobi regional variants of popular Pokemon that these gym leaders use as their ace partners. Now last time we made these cool unique starter Pokemon and Naruto grabbed his partner Pokemon, so let's go and check in with him as he begins his journey through the Shinobi region to become champion and Hokage, and to do that, he needs to defeat the very first gym leader, Gaara of the Sand. And come on, of course Gaara had to be one of the gym leaders. He is one of Naruto's worst enemies turned loyal ally, and his status as the Kazekage made it a very obvious choice. He is young and he's one of the most talented gym leaders out there, and considering that he was Naruto's first true rival and a fellow Jinchuriki of the One-Tails, he's the perfect first challenge for young Naruto. And I even heard that he might be next in line to become one of the legendary Elite Four, so let's break down his full power team. Now, there is actually a thing that we learned about in the anime Pokemon Origins and in the games Black and White 2, which is that gym leaders have a variety of teams at different power levels. That way, depending on the amount of gym badges that a trainer has that challenges them, they can just switch their team up to match the right level. And let's be real, since we all want to see an epic and crazy team, I'll be showing you each gym leader's strongest 4 Pokemon. And the theme for Gaara's team is, big surprise, the ground type. He's a master of sand, so his team is a strong sand-based team that brutalizes their opponents with damage over time, and that's why he leads with his Hippowdon. This bulky sand hippo is the frontman of Gaara's team, using its high defenses to stay around and do a bunch of damage. It also has the ability Sandstream, which creates a desert sandstorm on the battlefield, and this sandstorm is very similar to Gaara's sand release and deals a little bit of damage each turn to any Pokemon that doesn't have the ground, rock, or steel typing. But then there's also his next Pokemon, Pelicent. And this freaky little sandcastle is based on all the various sand structures that Gaara also makes, like his sand wall, and sand burial, and sand prison, or sand pillar. This guy really likes sand. And come on, a literal sandcastle is just perfect for his team, especially when you consider that in the novels, Gaara uses a move known as Sandcastle Wolfhorn, which, by the way, is also what I'll be making at the beach later today.
Of course you are. Only you would go to a beach to build sandcastles at 45 years old.
Okay, I am not 45, first of all. Like, are you blind or something? Look how young I look. Okay, she's really mean sometimes, I swear. Anyway, if defense isn't working or when his enemies are, at low HP, Gaara then unleashes his Marowak, a ground-type Pokemon known for beating down its opponents and also, fun fact, for having a dead mom. Gaara's birth killed his mother, and he carried that pain and darkness with him basically his entire life, just like a Marowak who carries its dead mother's skull on its head, I guess. Quickly moving on from this very sad fact, it's now time for Gaara's ace, the first Shinobian Pokemon of the day, Shinobian Shuckle, the absolute defense itself. Now some say it resembles a mythical tailed beast known as Shukaku, but to me, this thing just looks like a Shikaku. Am I right or am I right?
Boo!
Okay, that jokes aside, this thing is much more powerful than a regular old Shuckle. I mean, it's a ground and bug type Pokemon with max defense and special defense, but also very high special attack. It's a very bulky beast that can easily sweep entire teams if they don't bring a water, fire, or ice type, or flying type, but unfortunately for Gaara, Naruto and Sasuke have the fire and water starters from the last video and managed to break through his defenses just through sheer force and determination. And from there, making their way over to the second gym, Yamato's Grass Gym. Now, as one of the small handful of actual wood-style users in the story and a special member of the Anbu Black Ops, the elite shadow force of the Hidden Leaf Village, Yamato is a very powerful gym leader who uses grass-type Pokemon to knock out his opponent's Pokemon, not assassinate. He's got some freaky lead Pokemon also, such as Trevenant, a Pokemon that takes a lot of inspiration from his role as a vessel for the Hashirama cells. In case you don't know, Yamato here was experimented on and given the wood style by Danzo here, and essentially has the spirit of a dead man inside of him, not quite literally, but figuratively. So I kind of felt like this grass and ghost typing tree made a lot of sense. He's also got an Executor, a classic bulky palm tree that just kind of felt at home on this team for the tree motive that he's going for. And yes, it's one of maybe like, I don't know, 5 total tree Pokemon, so my options are a little bit limited, and since I gave Naruto a shift tree in my anime protagonist video, it was kind of off the table this time, and I wasn't about to give Yamato a Tropius, alright? Then we have Shinotic, a freaky mushroom, and I think that it makes sense because it is one of the very few Pokemon that have the very powerful move Spore, a move that puts opponent to sleep right away. And Hashirama was actually known to use the jutsu Wood Release, Advent of a World of Flowering Trees, a jutsu that summons pollen spores that knock the opponent unconscious, so very fitting. And if all else fails, he can summon his Shinobian Sudowoodo, a grass rock type Pokemon that is actually a tree and even shares the same head shield that Yamato wears too. Now in this region, this Sudowoodo has defended the tomb of Hashirama Senju, and his chakra just kind of seeped out, turning it into a wood style using Pokemon Guardian of the Leaf Village. And as cool as it is, as you can guess, Naruto's fire starter made pretty quick work of this gym too and secured him his second gym badge, and in his path to becoming the champion of the Hokage region, as we do some quick maths, 2 gyms down and 6 to go, but the next one will not be that easy, especially for a trainer like Naruto who uses fire type Pokemon. Because the next gym is a water and ice gym run by the exiled Hidden Ray ninja Zabuza and Haku. And let me just come clean here and say, I love Generation 3, and one of my favorite parts of Ruby, Sapphire, and especially Emerald were their very unique use of double battles. And there's just no better pair of enemies to have as gym leaders than Zabuza and Haku. I mean, they lead off with the insanely powerful pair of Gyarados and Glaceon. Gyarados of course pays homage to Zabuza's most iconic jutsu, the Water Release Water Dragon, and Glaceon just, gives Haku energy, It's an incredible pair that's tough to defeat, especially with very strong moves like Gyarados' Hydro Pump or Glaceon's Blizzard, which, fun fact, hits both enemies at the same time.
It can also be used to chill a refreshing drink, so if your tea is too hot, have a Pokemon use Blizzard. You'll thank me later.
Right, though, I guess the true nightmare is in their second pair, Shinobian Kabutops and Shinobian Froles. Together, these two are true demons of the mist, unleashing hell on their opponents. Kabutops shifts to become a water and steel type and gains fierce blade arms designed off of Zabuza's iconic sword, Kubi Kiribocho, and walks around in a storm of mist that kind of lowers its enemy's accuracy. And then there's Frostlass, an ice and dark type Pokemon that has Haku's signature mask weaved into its design. Luckily for Naruto, who would have had a really tough time here, Sasuke actually happened to be stuck in this very gym, and so they kind of swallowed their pride and teamed up in order to defeat this gym using their newly evolved Flarebian and Cobrate. Those, by the way, are the second evolution of the starters I made in the starters video before, and I just had to make the story match somewhat with the actual Naruto series. I mean, I just remember being a teenager crouching over my TV, losing my mind when Sasuke threw a massive shuriken that then transformed into Naruto and broke through Zabuza and Haku's defense. I don't know, maybe there's actually some hope that Naruto and Sasuke could still be friends in this. Nope. Okay. Sasuke just ran off, giving Naruto the middle finger and going on and on about murdering his brother, who I've, by the way, heard may be part of the evil secret shadowy organization ruling this region. I just hope that Naruto can even make it that far and that he isn't dead when we get there. I mean, I just hope Sasuke figures out his brotherly issues sometime soon, because I mean, this is kind of tough.
I hope he doesn't. He's cute when he gets all brooding and edgy.
Like, is he seriously your type? Like, what's up with all of that?
No, Manu. Look at me. I'm clearly a normal type.
Alright, Naruto, you've got to get over, to the Land of Iron now and defeat its gym leader, Mifune. Now, Mifune is actually a transplant gym leader from the Land of Iron who took over Hanzo's spot. In the actual show, Mifune has a fierce standoff with Hanzo the Salamander and loses to his very mighty poison style, but that's not how it would go in the Pokemon world, you know, seeing as Steel resists poison, so Mifune made pretty quick work of Hanzo and took over his gym instead. Now, this samurai uses fierce Steel Pokemon to slice down their opponents, and that is very clear with his lead Pokemon, Adron, a Gen 3 staple, one of my favorites. This massive, hulking rock and steel type Pokemon literally dons samurai armor. It's got high defenses and is a monstrous threat for opponents who aren't ready for it. There's also Mawile, a steel and fairy type Pokemon that also dons a samurai cloak, but kind of substitutes the top knot thing for a giant mouth that bites down on its enemies. I don't know about you, but I felt it made sense in multiple levels, you know. It kind of actually also pays tribute to Hanzo, the previous gym leader, as he summons Ibuse, which is this massive venomous salamander that eats its opponent with its gigantic bite. And then of course, no samurai is complete without a proper sword, and that's why Mifune also has Aegislash. This is a ghost and steel type Pokemon that is just literally a massive big old sword. I mean, you cannot hit the nail on the head any harder than that, especially when you remember that Hanzo is the general of the Land of Iron, and according to the Pokédex, apparently it can detect the innate qualities of leadership. According to legend, whoever it recognizes is destined to become king.
I had an Aegislash once. It helped me take over the Hidden Rain village, but I handed it off to a goth dude with sick nose piercings.
Ooh, what ominous foreshadowing. Moving on from that, Mifune's final Pokemon is the most Mifune Pokemon of all time, a shiny King Gambit. That's right, seeing as Mifune himself isn't an actual shinobi and a transplant gym leader, it didn't really make a ton of sense for him to have a shinobian Pokemon, but that's okay, because honestly, this shiny samurai general makes more than up for anything. It's a dark and steel type Pokemon that uses powerful sword moves like Sword Dance, Night Slash, Kowtow, Cleaves to slice and dice its enemies. And thanks to its ability, Supreme Overlord, by coming out last, it gains an attack boost from all its fallen allies. So, Adron, Aegislash, and Mawile, your sacrifices will not be in vain. Oh, nope, never mind. Sorry, it was totally in vain. Ooh, sorry, man. Them's the break sometimes. Bad type matchup, I guess. I guess you can't win them all, Mifune, or really any of them if we're talking about your actual canon fights, I guess. Alright, we're halfway through the gym leaders at this point, and Naruto has taken on some truly powerful enemies, but his first true challenge awaits him back in the Hidden Leaf Village, where he will have to face one of the strongest shinobi in the world. So prepare yourselves, because next time we will return to the shinobi region to deal with the remaining 4 gym leaders and even some extra villains. And if you're curious what epic starter Pokemon the new trainers in the Naruto region get and what they evolve into, you should check out the previous video on Naruto themed starter Pokemon right here. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Alright, and Pompon's asleep.